TKO Boxing with Sherry Abbasi, powered by PG Sports. We're in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for the Day of Reckoning mega event tomorrow night. I'm joined by Mr. Junior Farr. Junior, thank you for giving me a bit of your time today, brother. I know I've been haggling you a bit on Instagram. I appreciate you making a bit of time. How are you feeling? We're one day out from the big event itself.
Bro, I'm feeling happy, bro. All the training's done. The time to just, go in there, step on some scales, stare at your opponent, bro, and then it's fight day, bro. The day's finally here, so can't wait.
Thank you. And like we just said off camera, weighing day is not really a thing for heavyweights. It's just another day, part of the fight week, but it's not really a thing you have to really prepare for, is it?
Nah, bro, we are blessed to be this big because it's, because I can't imagine what it's like to, have to cut weight before a fight. That's crazy, type of thing. I see the boys doing it at the gym all the time. And man, on fight week, I feel guilty because I'm just basically eating how I normally eat. Sometimes I'm eating a bit more, especially from a place like this, and they have those bloody beautiful desserts laid out for me, bro. It's a bloody beautiful week for me, but I see the boys cutting down, and they're drinking tons of water, and they're just staring at the food, and they're just watching us eat. It's a hard time for them, but it's a good time for us heavyweights, bro. So, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed.
Heavyweights are always eating good, is that what we're saying, yeah?
100%, bro, always.
I suppose the thing is, a lot of fighters have to then do a sort of a weight camp as well, in the sense that they manage their weight and train and sort of hone their skills a bit. Would you say for heavyweights it's more just because of the fact that there's no weight making to be done? I suppose you have to manage your weight to an extent to be at a good fighting weight, but there's not like a boiling down or a water, trying to lose weight in that sense. You're just honing your skills and sort of getting the right sort of skills for the fight night.
It kind of is a bit because, with it being open weight class type of thing, it's kind of a double-edged sword because you can be as heavy as you want. Sometimes it turns into being as heavy as you can. And at times I've been super heavy, and I'm a lot more heavier than I should be. So sometimes when you come into fight camp, you are a lot heavier than you should be, but that's part of being a heavyweight. But for myself, especially as I'm getting older, I notice that I'm dealing with my weight a lot better. Even though I am getting heavier, I seem to be carrying it well. It seems to be kind of good weight rather than bad weight. And I still feel fine in basically all of my training sessions and all my fitness sessions and all my boxing sessions. So yeah, man. So for myself, man, I feel good being a big guy and moving around at such a big weight. And yeah, I just can't wait, bro. Can't wait.
Now yourself, you've been involved in the sport for a very long time, in the sense that you've got an amateur pedigree. You've been involved from a young age, and now you've had a good pro career so far as well. Can I ask what led you to get involved in boxing when you were a kid?
So growing up in New Zealand, there's basically one sport that we play, which is rugby. And they chucked me in rugby, and I didn't like it, bro. Rugby's definitely not my sport. But my dad done boxing, so I saw that growing up too. So I saw rugby growing up, and I saw boxing. I didn't like rugby, but I saw my dad doing boxing, so I wanted to do that as well. And basically when I turned 15, I asked him if I can box. He said no.
Oh, really?
Well, it's just because growing up as a kid, man, I was never the strongest kid. I was never the bravest kid. I was always the one kind of getting teased by my sister and getting beat up by my sister, bro.
So an older sister.
Yeah, older sister. I wasn't the manliest kid growing up, and so it wasn't really a thought of my dad or my uncles of me fighting. But then I turned 16. He took me to the gym anyway, and I showed talent, and I showed that I was good at boxing, and I liked it. And yeah, basically ever since then, man, I've been basically hooked onto the sport. Loved it.
And then, like we said, you've had an amateur career as well, and then you got into the pro game. The biggest fight for you today has probably been the one with Joseph Parker, simply because of your backgrounds and where the fight took place. What are your memories of that whole event and how that all came about? And how long have you known Joseph Parker for?
Yeah, no, yeah, me and Joseph Parker have been fighting for a long time. So we fought each other in the amateurs a few times, like 4 times, and then fought as a pro once. He won that fight. That was such a massive event. You know what I mean? It was just after COVID too, so that's what kind of forced it to happen. That and Parker's willingness to fight and basically continue fighting during that time. And since we couldn't really do too much travel around that time, I'm a local name, we got history, that fight made sense at that time. And so, yeah, man, that was such a big event for New Zealand. That was such a big event for myself. That was the biggest event that I've ever been like a part of so far. And the biggest thing for me going into that fight was just seeing how I would deal with the event, because I've been in fights before, and like, you know, fighting is no big thing to us, but the event was something different. How was I going to react walking out to a crowd that's not really for me? But I basically overcame that. I'd done a lot of mental preparation for that fight. I feel like I aced it in terms of mental preparation. The fight went 12 rounds. It was a close competitive fight. It was a good fight. And yeah, man, and to be able to fight on another big card like this, man, such a blessing.
What was your reaction when you got the call to fight here, and have you ever been to this part of the world before?
First time here, bro. First time here. Beautiful country. It's cool. It's cool when you travel, because you see and experience a lot of different things, and it broadens your mind, and like it doesn't keep you caged in. So I always enjoy traveling, especially to parts of the world that's definitely not like home, and this isn't like home. So I love being here, and I love experiencing different types of cultures and different people and different backgrounds. And the news for the fight. So I remember being at training. It was a Friday, I remember, and I got a call from JD's. So that's Deontay Wilder's management. He called me up and he says, "Junior, all right, there's something big going on. We could fight Joseph Parker in December 23rd, okay? So it basically isn't concrete yet, but I'm just telling you because if it does get set, basically we want you here as soon as we can, just so you can help Deontay Wilder get prepared for Parker." And so that was the first time I heard about the event. That was maybe like a week before the press conference, or a few days before the press conference in London, and then that was the first time I heard about it. And then 12 hours later, found out that I was going to be on the card as well. So man, it all just worked towards my favor, because I get to go there and I get to help Deontay Wilder prepare for his fight as well as prepare for mine, because what better sparring can you get when you spar Deontay Wilder? It forces you to be sharp, and that's exactly what you have to be when you fight anyone, especially someone like Frank Sanchez, who was very sharp. And he's such a clever boxer. He's very fast as well. So I feel like the preparation that I did with Wilder is going to be perfect for this fight.
Just touching on the point about Deontay Wilder and the sparring, 2 things on that. Does he, number one, hit as hard as they say? And number 2, were you surprised by his skill? Because he does get a lot of criticism, and I think it's unfair in a lot of ways, that he's not technically very good. Were you surprised by anything he was able to do in the ring?
I don't need to be hit by him to know that guy hits hard, bro. That guy hits hard. But Deontay Wilder does what he does very well. And his skills are a lot better than what people give him credit for. You know what I mean? But that's kind of not surprising, you know what I mean? Because people always criticize boxers, bro. But Deontay Wilder, he's very good at what he does, and with a trainer like Malik Scott under him now, he's improving, bro. He's improving. He's changing. It'll be awesome to kind of see how he will look like on the night, on what he wants to do. If he's gonna come forward and basically try and take his head off straight away, or if he's gonna box. Man, it's just gonna be interesting. You know what I mean? Especially with Malik Scott and what he brings, because Malik Scott is such an intelligent boxer himself. So yeah, it's just great things for their camp, I think.
Frank Sanchez is your opponent this weekend. Like you mentioned, he's very sharp. Pardon me, he's very sharp, he's slick, Cuban, so you know he's going to be well schooled and have that skill set. And we've seen what he does in the ring, and he can be a guy who nullifies a lot of fighters in the ring. For you, he's probably going to present a moving target because of your size and the attributes that you possess. Have you prepared for every aspect of his game, or are you just going for the knockout? What sort of fight are you mentally prepared for?
I'm prepared for everything. You know what I mean? I'm not set on one game plan because he's a guy that can adjust. He's a guy that I've seen fight different ways for different people. So I'm not set to one game plan. I need to adjust on what is presented on the night. With Frank Sanchez, I've seen him move around in his fights, so I'm prepared for that. I've seen him come forward in his fights, so I'm prepared for that also. So whatever way he wants to do it, I'm just basically going to try to shut that down. And yeah, man, I just need to look sharp doing so, because I can't stack off with this fella, bro. This guy's good.
Now, all eyes are obviously on tomorrow night for yourself, for your career as well. In an ideal world, you're 34 years old now. Heavyweights can go on a lot longer, as we know. So how much longer would you envisage yourself fighting, regardless of what happens tomorrow? And if you do get the win tomorrow, what are your immediate goals?
Okay. Man, I picture myself fighting for a long time, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I got a style that I feel can last for a long time. So in terms of like what age, I don't know, to be honest. Haven't really thought about it. But immediate goals after, and coming through a win, it's just up from here, bro. Up from here, you know what I mean? There's going to be winners on the night. There's going to be losers on the night. When I win, I want anyone that's basically above me in terms of rankings. So yeah, anyone above me, really.
So Junior, I just want to say best of luck for Saturday night. Like you said, you're prepared for every outcome, so fingers crossed you are able to put together a good performance, and obviously we'll see how it all plays out. And then I also want to thank you for your responses on Instagram and sort of giving me the time today. Like I said, for people like us who aren't with big outlets, it can be hard to get interviews, so I appreciate you giving us a bit of time, brother, and obviously best of luck, and hopefully we'll try and catch up with you on Saturday night.